Good evening and welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye D'Souza. Let's get straight to it. Our first story is about the brutal rape and murder of a child, a Dalit child that has taken place in Delhi. Some of the details of this story might be upsetting to some of our viewers. I'd like to issue a trigger warning before we go any further. Today, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said the Delhi government will order a magisterial inquiry into the death of the Dalit child who was allegedly raped and murdered in the city. He told the media after meeting the child's parents, and I quote, "Our girl cannot come back. The injustice done to the family is unfortunate and cannot be compensated, but the government will give 10 lakh rupees to them and order a magisterial inquiry into the matter." End quote. The parents of the girl, accompanied by hundreds of locals, have been staging protests near the site of the incident in southwest Delhi, demanding capital punishment for the accused. The Chief Minister has said that the government will appoint top lawyers to ensure the guilty get the harshest punishment. There is a need to strengthen the law and order in Delhi, he said. I appeal to the central government to take firm steps in this direction, end quote, suggesting and pointing out to the fact that the Delhi police reports to the Home Ministry of India. The child's parents on Sunday said that at 5:30 in the evening, she had gone to fill cold water from a water cooler inside a neighborhood crematorium that was across the street from where the parents lived. Around 6 o'clock, some people known to the girl's mother called her and showed her the daughter's body, claiming that she had been electrocuted while she was getting water from the cooler. The parents also said the accused dissuaded the mother from calling the police and said the police will only make a case out of it, and during the post-mortem the doctors will steal the girl's organs and sell them, so it's better to cremate her. The accused then allegedly locked the gates of the crematorium from inside with the mother inside and forcibly cremated the child. By the time the neighbors and the father broke down the gate and put out the fire, only the child's feet were still intact. The remainder of her body and ashes have been collected and submitted as evidence. 4 people, including the priest of the crematorium, who is the main accused, have been arrested in this incident, where the accused have been charged with rape and murder. Protests continue in Delhi for justice in what is very obviously a caste-based heinous crime. An update from Parliament now. Rajya Sabha Chairman Venkaiah Naidu on Wednesday suspended 6 TMC MPs for the day for carrying placards while protesting along with other opposition MPs over the Pegasus row. He first asked the members to go back to the seat and then threatened to invoke Rule 255 against those holding placards within the room. As members refused to budge, he ordered that those disobeying the chair raising placards shall leave the House under Rule 255. Nevertheless, despite the protests from opposition, 2 bills were passed in Parliament today, specifically in Lok Sabha. They were loud protests from the opposition in both houses. Lok Sabha passed the Coconut Development Board Amendment Bill 2021 without debate, even as the opposition continued sloganeering. Earlier in the day, the House had given its nod to the Commission for Air Quality Management of the National Capital Region and Adjoining Areas Bill 2021. The bill was moved by the Environment Minister. A quick understanding of what these bills do. The Air Quality Management Bill seeks to set up a statutory authority with the appropriate powers to tackle air pollution in the National Capital Region. The Coconut Development Amendment Bill 2021 amends a section in the Coconut Development Board Act which provides for the appointment of a non-executive chairman, a chief executive officer, and an ex-officio joint secretary of government as members of the board of the Integrated Development of Horticulture. Over 1,200 villages have been hit by severe floods due to heavy rainfall in Madhya Pradesh. More than 6,000 people have had to be evacuated to safer places with the help of the army, the SDRF and the NDRF. The Chief Minister, who undertook an aerial survey on Wednesday, said the flood situation in North Madhya Pradesh is very grim. 1,225 villages in Shivpuri, in Shiopur, in Gwalior, Guna, Bhind and Morena districts are affected. Rail services between Shivpuri and Gwalior, telecom services in the Morena district are badly affected because of the rains and the flooding. The Chief Minister also said that 4 columns of the Army, the BSF, the NDRF teams, 70 teams of SDRF have been deployed in rescue work. He said more teams are coming. 5 helicopters of the Air Force have been pressed into rescue operations as well. On to a COVID update. India has reported 42,625 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. That's a 40% jump from yesterday's caseload. Remember, we reported 40,000. It came down to 32,000. It's gone back up to 42,000. These numbers are concerning. Just yesterday, the government told us the pandemic is still raging and issued a warning that we should keep our guard up. Kerala, meanwhile, which is the worst affected state right now, has reported 22,414 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. The centre had sent a 6-member team to Kerala earlier to take stock of the situation. That central team has now said that there is a need to enhance testing, contact tracing, enforce containment measures, and establish adequate healthcare infrastructure to overcome this crisis. The report by the team has been accessed by ANI, which says, and I quote, proper hospital infrastructure like ICU, ventilator beds need to be augmented on an urgent basis. Pediatric care facilities, especially pediatric ICU beds, need to be augmented. There's also a recommendation that the clusters and super events, wherever suspected or reported, should be investigated at the district level. The civic body of Mumbai, the BMC, has clarified on Tuesday that the night curfew in the city will continue between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m., although there's no restriction on the movement of the people outside of these timings. Gatherings are still prohibited in the city of Mumbai. And on to other news, and this is a political update from the state of Karnataka. A week after the new chief minister took over, Mr. Basavaraj Bommai, the chief minister, has expanded his cabinet, including 29 ministers. The new cabinet, though, does not have a deputy chief minister, which is a difference because B.S. Yediyurappa had 3 deputy chief ministers. Former deputy CMs Govind Karjol and Ashwath Narayan were among those sworn in as ministers. Of the 29 ministers, there's only one woman minister, Shashikala Jole. Bommai, when speaking to the media after the ceremony, said, and I quote, last time the cabinet headed by Yediyurappa, we had 3 deputy CMs. This time the High Command has decided not to have any deputy CMs, end quote. Bommai added that the new council would comprise of 8 Lingayats, 7 Vokkaligas, these are castes in Karnataka, 7 from other backward class, 3 from scheduled caste, and 1 representing scheduled tribe and Reddy castes. The Editors Guild of India has moved Supreme Court in the Pegasus media report case. The Editors Guild is a representation of editors and journalists in the country. The body has sought direction from the Supreme Court for an SIT probe into the matter. The Guild in its plea said, and I quote, freedom of the press relies on non-interference by the government, its agencies in reporting of journalists, including the journalist's ability to securely and confidentially speak to sources, investigate the abuse of power and corruption, expose government incompetence, and speak with those in opposition to the government. Remember, over the past few days, VIA, in collaboration with 16 other media organizations, revealed close to 155 names that are on the alleged list of snooping for Pegasus. This includes politicians, journalists, and activists. A large chunk of those names were journalists. About 40 people were journalists. In fact, we understand we can expect another break as part of this story from the buyer in the next few hours. We will bring you that update in our next bulletin. Moving on now to news from the world of business and economics. According to Bloomberg Quint, Kumar Mangalam Birla has stepped down as the chairperson of Vodafone Idea. The board has accepted his request to step down as non-executive director and non-executive chairman of Vodafone Idea starting the 4th of August. Himanshu Kapania, a nominee of the Aditya Birla Group, will be appointed non-executive chairman. Birla had written to the government on the 7th of June seeking immediate support for Vodafone Idea if it is to survive at all. The carrier's survival is in doubt after the Supreme Court did not allow telecom operators their plea in correcting pending dues. Vodafone Idea's liabilities surged after the Supreme Court last year allowed the government to put on them statutory dues on non-core revenue as well, which they said is backbreaking. And according to a recent report by ICICI Securities, Vodafone Idea has liabilities now worth 23,200 crore rupees coming up for repayments in the next 12 months. According to the Purchasers Managers Index, or the PMI, activity in India's services sector has shrunk for the 3rd consecutive month in July as COVID-related curbs continued to impact demand. Now remember, the economy can be divided into three sectors. There's agriculture, which is all of the farming and allied sectors. There's manufacturing, and then there's the services sector. Most of people in urban India depend on the services sector. The services sector has been shrinking. The index was 41.2 in June. It was 45.4 in July, but the fact that it's remained below 50 denotes a contraction. This has been a contraction. There's also been a contraction in international demand for services. The data also noted that there's pressure of inflation across sectors. In the meantime, Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, has urged automakers in India to compulsorily provide a minimum of 6 airbags to all vehicles. This comes after he met a delegation of CEOs under the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers in Delhi. He also said that he has emphasized on the need for a quick rollout of fuel flex vehicles which are capable of running on 100% ethanol and gasoline into the Indian auto market in a year's time. News now coming in from across the world. According to the Greek Prime Minister, the country is facing its worst heat wave since 1987. This comes after Greece witnessed 81 forest fires in 24 hours due to extreme weather conditions. Remember, this is all climate change. Greece is recording temperatures of over 40 degrees Celsius. In some places, it's reached 46 degrees. Several houses have been burnt down due to the wildfires, and rescue operations are underway. 8 people have been killed in Turkey. There are a total of 156 wildfires in Turkey that erupted last week. An update from Science and Tech. WhatsApp has apparently rolled out a new feature called View Once. This will allow users to send photographs and videos that will disappear in the chat after the recipient has viewed them. The media content will not be saved in the recipient's photo gallery, and they cannot forward that media content to anyone else through the app. In a blog post, WhatsApp said, only send photos and videos with View Once. Media is enabled to trusted individuals. For example, it's possible for someone to take a screenshot or record the screen of the media before it disappears. You won't be notified if someone takes a screenshot. So basically, you still have to trust the person you're sending the visual to. A quick update from the world of sports, specifically India's campaign in the Olympics. There's good news today. Lovlina Borgohain has become the 3rd Indian boxer after Vijendra Singh and Mary Kom to win a bronze medal at the Olympics. The 23-year-old lost to Turkey's contender in the semi-finals for the women's welterweight division, 64 kgs to 69 kgs at the Tokyo Olympics. So she has won the bronze. India now has 1 silver medal and 2 bronze medals at the Tokyo Olympics so far. All women, incidentally. Also, 23-year-old wrestler from India, Ravi Kumar Dahiya, has assured himself a medal at the Tokyo Olympics after advancing to the final of the men's freestyle 57 kg category. He defeated Kazakhstan's contender in the semi-final, which means he will either have a silver or a gold. We wish him very good luck. India's 23-year-old javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra has qualified for the men's javelin throw final at the Olympics. In his very first attempt, he apparently did very, very well. He advanced to the final with a stunning throw of 86.65 meters that put him on the top of the Group A contest. India's women's hockey team lost 1-2 to Argentina in the semi-final match today. Argentina will now compete with Netherlands for the gold medal match. India will be up against Great Britain for the bronze medal match. The women's team has reached the semi-finals of the Olympics for the first time ever. India's 22-year-old wrestler Deepak Punia lost the Tokyo Olympics men's freestyle 86 kg category final against his US contender. The American wrestler won the bout by a technical superiority. Deepak Punia will now play for the bronze medal match tomorrow. And one piece of positive news before we leave you for the day, as we always do. Bengaluru's Prerna Wadikar has recently won the Vice-Chancellor's Social Impact Award at Oxford University for inventing a device that resembles a power bank but is a lithium-ion portable battery. The device is called Jiva, and according to Prerna, Jiva has the ability to power underserved globally. So what the device can do is it can be charged very quickly in about an hour, compared to 5 hours for other batteries, and it can run at least 3 devices simultaneously, and it can be used in any place that needs energy access for multiple devices. The device can power the refrigerators that are currently in need for vaccines, along with lights and table fans in the most remote and tribal areas. It does not need an electric grid and can be completely charged with solar panels. That is, in fact, good news. Now, a lot of you have been asking for the quiz. I will give you a quiz indeed. Here's the quiz contest very quickly. Name all of the Indian Olympic medal winners so far. Leave us, the answers in the comment section. I want to thank you for all of the words of encouragement that you left for us last night. The team really enjoys reading your messages. It makes us feel really good. It makes us work harder. So do remember to leave us a message if you've enjoyed this bulletin. Tell your friends and family as well that there is such a product available in the market that's completely free of cost that will give you just the news of India and around the world. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.